What is going on, everybody? So today I'm going to talk about why I bought this Duramax, and this Duramax specifically. A lot of you guys are new to this channel and you probably don't know, but I was originally supposed to get a 2014 Sierra. I was supposed to get a 2014 Sierra from my uncle, but now I'm going to tell you how I ended up with this Duramax. My uncle was originally going to sell me his truck and he was going to buy a Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. So he asked me one day, hey, I might buy a Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. Do you want to buy my truck? There was a truck that looked just like mine. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll buy your truck. So I put my truck up for sale, you know, on Instagram, Craigslist, Facebook, and within a week, or within 2 weeks, I had like 3 potential buyers. I got a lot of low balls too, but that's you know, you're gonna get that. So I had 3 potential buyers, and then so one day I told my uncle, I was like, hey, I actually have a guy coming tomorrow to buy my truck. And at this time, my uncle hasn't found a TRD Pro 4Runner, and we found out that the 2017 TRD Pro 4Runners weren't even released yet, and the dealerships didn't even know when they were gonna release that model. And my uncle doesn't like buying used vehicles, so that was not an option. And all the used 2016 4Runner TRD Pros were like selling for like $1,000 or $2,000 below the window sticker, and they had like 15 to 20,000 miles. I was gonna sell my truck the next day, and he was trying to convince me not to sell it because, you know, he wasn't sure if he was gonna be able to find a replacement vehicle for himself if I were to buy his truck. And then I ended up selling the truck, and I didn't have a vehicle for a while. He was looking at the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro, but he was at the same time he was looking at Jeep Grand Cherokee Trailhawks. And we actually ended up finding a Trailhawk in Lexington, South Carolina, and it was a really good deal. And he was sending them emails, like they were sending emails back and forth, and he was actually gonna go take a look at it because he actually really liked that model. So with that being said, now it was time for me to buy his truck. And he gave me a number, and I wasn't really comfortable paying that number. I was expecting to pay a little bit less, and he wanted me to pay this much, and which I could afford that much, but you know, I'm still in college. I'm working part-time, and I just didn't want to spend that much money for a vehicle right now. I still have a year left in school, and I just didn't want to put myself in that situation where I'll be restricted with money, because it's going all to pay my car bill. And if I were to buy that truck, I wasn't going to be able to do any mods, and it just wasn't going to be fun. So I told my uncle that I couldn't afford it, and he understood. Rewind back to the time period where I sold my truck and I didn't have a vehicle. Because the TRD Pro 4Runners 2017 model wasn't going to come out for a while, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to buy my uncle's truck. So I started looking around, and this Duramax that I'm driving right now was actually up for sale last year around September. And I was actually looking at this Duramax around that time too. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, you can go back to that time where I post a picture asking, should I get this Duramax? And I was thinking about it, but I couldn't find anybody to buy my truck. And at that time I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna pay off my truck and just get an LBZ or get a newer body style Duramax. I remember that this truck was up for sale back in September, but I haven't really seen anything, heard anything about it. And I was Facebook friends with him. I just decided to send him a message because, you know, if it was sold, then you know, it was sold. I'll look for something else. I messaged him and he said, yeah, I still have the truck. I just took it down from the market because I was getting too many lowballs. I will sell it to you for this much, but I am not going any lower. And I was fine with that price. So we met up and I looked at the truck, and I mean, here's a video where I went to go look at it. I'm either getting the 2014 Sierra or the Duramax, and I have a guy coming to get my truck this Friday. So if everything goes well, and if the Duramax looks good, I might just get the Duramax because it's been a dream of mine to have a Duramax. So right now I'm gonna go check it out. It only has like 138,000 miles, which is not bad for diesel. So I went and looked at it. Everything looked good, but I put it on hold because at that time I was still gonna buy my uncle's truck because I didn't know how much he wanted to sell it to me for. Because I didn't have a vehicle for 2 weeks, he let me drive his truck for, you know, the time that I didn't have my vehicle. During that time, I got really spoiled with his new truck, but at the same time, it was too new for me. It was weird, like, it was just too nice. And I didn't think I deserved anything that nice, at least, especially like right now. It was nice, but it was nice to be able to drive something like that, but I just felt like I didn't want anything that nice just yet. Seafoam. So I drove my uncle's truck around for 2 weeks, and I mean, I loved that thing. It rode like a SUV. It was really smooth, but at the same time, it was a little too smooth for me. I got used to driving a lifted truck. One day I would love to have a new truck, but right now I just felt like I wanted something a little older. So I mean, I was pretty set on buying my Duramax. You know, during that period of time where I didn't have a vehicle, I was also considering other trucks too. Because a lot of people ask me, hey, why didn't you get a Power Stroke? Why didn't you get Cummins? Well, I was actually looking at a few Cummins and few Power Strokes. It would be more likely for me to get a Cummins than a Power Stroke. Just not a fan of Power Strokes. Just not a fan of Ford in general. I don't really like the way they look. And for me, even GMC and Chevy, only Chevy I would buy is a cat eye front end, but I prefer GMC over Chevy. I mean, they're the same truck, but I just like the GMC front end much better. And it's personal preference. A lot of people prefer Chevy front end over GMC, but for me, I like the GMC front end. I did like Cummins, and there were a few Cummins that I wanted to go look at, but I realized that I know nothing about Cummins or Dodge, so that kind of made me steer away from them. And another thing is, I was actually looking at Toyota Tacomas, and Toyota Tacomas was a truck that I was actually gonna get as my first truck. You know, as I was looking around, the Toyota Tacomas are just like 4Runners, are so expensive. The resale value is amazing. So if I were to sell it, that would be really good for me. But as a buyer's point of view, it just wasn't good. Unlike Mike from Street Speed 717, he likes his truck very basic. He likes the cloth interior. He doesn't like anything fancy. But for me, I kind of want my truck to be fully loaded and have leather seats, mainly because, you know, you spend your time inside the truck. I want to be comfortable. I just want to have all the fancy stuff. I know it kind of contradicts how I said I didn't want anything super nice, but at the same time, like I want something nice, just not as nice as the, like, brand new trucks. So Tacomas are just super basic, and having leather seats and heated seats really spoiled me. It's not that I need it, but it's just nice to have them. And Tacomas, I mean, if you find the 4x4 Tacoma, they are so freaking expensive. And to compare it, like, I would be downsizing to a mid-sized truck. It's smaller, the interior, like interior is smaller, bed of the truck is smaller. Just everything would be smaller in general because it's a mid-sized truck, whereas this is a full-size truck. But the gas mileage is just as bad as a full-size truck. And I just, you know, if I'm gonna get I knew that with my new truck I would lift it and put at least 35s. And if I were to put 35s on a Tacoma, I would get like 12 to 11 miles per gallon. And I just didn't think it was worth it. And another thing is, I just didn't think it was worth the price. What I mean by that is, the interior is so outdated. The dash, just everything about the second generation Tacomas are just so outdated, at least for me. Like, Tacomas don't come with leather seats. They're all like sport cloth, TRD cloth material. Like, I don't know what that's called, but I mean, I like having leather seats, and I just feel like if I'm gonna spend the same amount of money, I want something that offers more. Tacomas, like fully loaded Tacomas. I'm not talking about the XP package, but like Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road, TRD Sport. The seats aren't power. It's manual. You gotta pull a lever, and it's manual. And I'm not saying that's a deal breaker, but I feel like if you're gonna spend that much money, I feel like I deserve to have power seats. I would be looking at like 2012 models, and I feel like if it's a 2012 model, I think I deserve to get power seats, especially if I'm paying that much money. Well, like I said, it's not a deal breaker. I don't change my seats that often, but it's just the details. I didn't like that. The quality wasn't up there for me, and I just couldn't justify myself to spend that much money for a Tacoma when I could buy a fully loaded, full-size Chevy truck for the same price, or if not, like, just pay a little bit more. Again, if this is your first time stopping by, please make sure to subscribe. Go check out my old videos from when I had my 1500 GMC Sierra 1500 with 6-inch rough country lift. I mean, I started making videos from when it was on a leveling kit. It wasn't as detailed as my Duramax build, but I mean, I think those are pretty cool videos, so check them out. I made a playlist of my Duramax build, so if you're new, I suggest you go check out the playlist from the beginning, so you guys can like catch up and know what's going on. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure to comment what you guys think, what you guys thought about my decision. Did I make a good decision of buying this Duramax? Should I have gotten the Tacoma or Cummins? Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks.